Christmas is coming. Can you tell? Our little elves were here on Saturday to put up our little decorations and all of our wonderful things. Yes, we want to thank them. Yes, they're sitting in the front row here. You can thank them later. And you know what tonight is, I understand? There's a super moon coming tonight, right? It's supposed to be 15% brighter and bigger than usual. So it's coming, and I guess it's been here, right? Last night? I don't know. Anyway, and tonight. 4 a.m. is the biggest. Okay, 4 a.m., guys. So set your alarm clocks. Oh, and so I do look forward to Christmas, though, every year, because I look forward to refocusing once again on this Christmas story and the details of how this love consciousness, this Christ consciousness, came to earth to remind us what we are, this gift that has been given. As you arrive today, you each have on your seat a pamphlet that is called The Love and Light of Christmas. There's several out there. If you didn't get one, find another chair. There will be one. And I'm using this as my theme for the month, The Love and Light of Christmas. This is a pamphlet that's an Advent. So this is the first Sunday in Advent, guys. And this is a Unity publication. It's giving you a reading for every day that comes between now and Christmas. So please utilize the information in this pamphlet. But today, our topic is living faith, which is based on what the topic is for this week, which is faith. And as I said in the thought for the week, the story of the Christmas story does begin with the angel Gabriel coming to Mary and telling her of what was going to be happening, that she's been chosen by God to give birth. And she was a little puzzled because she said, hey, I have not been with a man, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to happen. And he reminded her that her cousin Elizabeth was with child, and Elizabeth was way beyond the years when a woman was supposed to be able to give birth. And so the Gabriel was reminding Mary that look at what's going on right now with Elizabeth. So, this is what we're telling you is going to happen with you. And when she pondered these things in her heart, and she listened with her heart, she said, yes. She said, I am the Lord's servant. Be it unto me according to thy word. Even though Mary didn't understand what was going on, she trusted. She had the faith within her to go along with what was being proposed. I know that many of us are going through things in our lives right now where we are questioning, wondering, what is this all about? And in this passage in Luke, what I love about the Christmas story is that it just isn't something that happened more than 2,000 years ago, guys. It is refreshed and renewed every time we read these stories, these allegorical stories, because we are living today, but these are spiritual truths that never give way. They are anchored in truth. And so in this area where you're reading, it's in Luke, where you'll see most of the Christmas story that we're familiar with is Luke, and it's right here in this passage where you find that phrase, which we're all familiar with, that verse, with God, all things are possible. We know that one, right? That's where you find it, is when we're talking here about this beginning of this Christmas story, the beginning of this Christ consciousness coming to earth. With God, all things are possible. very, very important to remember the first two words of that phrase, because sometimes we can say, oh, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. And I like to sometimes change that up a bit and make it with love. All things are possible. To exchange the word God with love. And I think sometimes that gives us a different interpretation, helps us to understand it a little bit more. And love, the power of love, is in the unseen realm. That's why we have to have our faith to believe. Even though something doesn't come to our five senses, we can't see it, we can't smell it, we can't taste it, any of those things, but it's here, it's real. I love this season. Yesterday I went shopping and went to a couple craft fairs. Actually, it was at Nordstrom's Rack down in Mission Valley. They had a huge craft fair going on. I just love those things, because there's all this unique. Everybody brings, and then summer's passed. Here yesterday had a big craft fair. And these are individuals who make their wares. They put all their love and all their individuality into whatever they have. But what reminds me of this season in particular, and our topic today, is that you'll see these, a lot of them, they may paint words on signs, and you'll see these signs, or you'll see pillows, and it's got one word on it: believe. That one word conjures up so much power. Believe. In our teaching, we have a basic teaching that says God can only do for you what it can do through you. We have to be available. We have to be open to allow this infinite power to flow through us. And it is unending. It is infinite, as we are. And when we get that, when we believe that there's no place that I can not be, for I am the whole of all. I am not separate. I am as one through eternity. Granted, my look might change. My energy will change. That's what life is about, is change, guys, right? We know this. Even though we kick and scream and drag our feet that we don't want to do it, it's going to happen. And we want to trust that this infinite power, this infinite being, is carrying us and taking us through our journey in the right and perfect way. That it is blessing us. It is giving us what we have need of at that moment. You see, when Mary said that she was going to, do this thing, she trusted, and she didn't know how it was going to look, but what did she do? She got on that donkey, and she rode it. Many times what this is symbolizing, again, in our lives, is that for us to do something new, to be able to birth something new in our lives, we need to leave the territory from which we've been. We need to leave the consciousness that we've been holding in order to be open to receive and give birth to something new. That's the way life works. You can't cling on to the old without allowing yourself to open up to the new. You've got to let it go. And you will find that in life. Things change, and it's okay. It's fine. It's lovely. It's the way that life works. You notice on the, by the way, I was gonna, as I was getting in the car, I was noticing, Fawn, that the oranges or whatever they are falling off the tree out there. They're on the ground. So we've got to do some harvesting and bring those things in. You notice that when you have fruit, the fruit comes at the end of the new growth of the plant. When we are giving ourselves the availability of Spirit, we have to be at the newness. We have to allow ourselves to do it in a new way, to branch out, to be into that arena that, might be scary. It might be frightening. Absolutely. But we step out in faith anyway. One of the readings in your Advent book that I wanted to share with you is one of my favorites. Martha Smock had written it. And I wanted to share with you what she said. We are being molded and shaped not by outer circumstances or by other persons, but from within and by our reactions, our thoughts, our feelings, and our attitudes. And yet, unless we meet experiences that make us seek deeper understanding, reach higher for light, we do not develop our spiritual nature. To realize this truth is to give thanks for all experiences, even the hurtful ones. It is to give thanks for every person, even the hateful one. It is to see everyone and everything as somehow a part of us. We are one. It is to see everyone and everything as a part of us. It is to be taught by all. In the midst of a difficult situation, say, "You are my teachers. I have something to learn from you." Be available to accept what is, without resistance, without putting up a fuss, without pitching a fit, knowing that I am in this situation to have something within me that is already there. I truly believe this. Whatever situation you're in, it is there to allow you to discover, to bring forth more of what you have within you, to be able to present yourself in a way that you are elevating, you are being available for Spirit, this higher self that you haven't experienced it yet, so it's new, it's different. Yes, trust it. Trust it to be able to come forth from you. Many times when we are frightened, when we are fearful, we don't know what's going to go on. We feel like we're alone. We feel isolated. We feel like, how am I going to do this on my own? I'm afraid. Does any of that sound familiar to anyone at all? So we try to seek outside what's going on. Is there some expert that I can see about asking, what should I do? Who should I ask? What should I do? I will let you know that within you is the answer. You don't have to go outside yourself. The answer is within you. And it takes courage. It takes absolute courage to stand in your truth and know that my heart is leading me where I need to be. Megan McLaughlin, I didn't know who she was till I Googled her. She was an American journalist, very popular in the 50s. And she said, courage can't see around the corners, but goes around them anyway. That's what we're talking about here this morning, is our faith, our belief, is to have that courage to go around the corner, even though you don't know what's on the other side of it. That's what we're talking about. And of course, we're remembering, see, our teaching emphasizes affirmations. It emphasizes our thoughts and what we're thinking, and so that we can hook onto something that will give us the truth, the strength, the courage. And Emma Curtis Hopkins, we've talked about her affirmation over the last few months. Remember what hers is. This too is God, this too is good, and I demand to see the blessing in it now. We stand firm in it. And it's a training of the mind to do it. I wanted to share with you one of the readings that was in last month's Science of Mind. I just loved it. It's called Try Bamboo for Peace. How many of you are familiar with this? I know there's one or two people in the room that have read it. Okay, most of you have not. In the days when an elephant would walk through a town with its keeper, the elephant's trunk was a curious part of the equation. It had a natural tendency to explore whatever it wanted, disrupting fruit carts and kiosks as it made its way down the street. You just envision this big elephant and his trunk is everywhere, right? It had no qualms about helping itself to whatever fruit or artifacts on one side of the street caught its attention, while disrupting the carts on the other side with its back end in search of that perfect, delectable treat, leaving a broken mess in its wake. To solve this problem, the wise elephant keeper would offer a bamboo shaft for the elephant's fidgety trunk to grasp. The elephant would hold that piece of bamboo as if it was the most precious package it could carry. The elephant now had a focus and purpose and would walk through the city with great dignity and poise. The mind is much like that elephant without focus. It will wander off in curious exploration, grasping holding of anything that catches its fancy. An affirmation is a wonderful piece of bamboo that will center the attention and calm the wandering mind. When the emphasis is on the Most High that is within rather than the distractions of the world, eternal peace and calm are yours. You'll walk with the poise and presence of a child of the King through your kingdom. You'll be grateful that all your needs will forever be met. How true is that? That when we get out of this chatter and this what ifs and of the mind, and if we can just grasp to that knowing that my life is a blessing, that I have received so many blessings, and that I am here to give those blessings that I have received. And what we end up having then is grace and love and poise and joy. That's what the gifts of this season are. When we let go of all of the minutia of how is it going to get done. I know I got a long to-do list like all of you too. My persimmons are really ripening up, and I have got to get over to them because I make my persimmon bread, this every year, and those persimmons are telling me, they're screaming at me right now, come on, I'm on your list today to take care of me. And we'll know that everything that we need to do in this Christmas season is done in perfect order and in perfect timing. To allow yourself the serenity of being at peace, knowing that God is right now giving you what you need, even though you can't see it, even though it's invisible. How many of you do remember the movie Indiana Jones, where he was going after the Holy Grail? Do you remember right at the end of the movie? He knew that he had to cross this chasm, this opening, and how was he going to do it? It's right there. But there's a big, huge gap. If I step out into this, I'm going to fall. It'll be for sure death. And he had the voice of his father in his head that said, "You must believe, son." And so he took a step. And he discovered that there was a bridge. And he took another step. And with every step he took, the bridge appeared. And as the camera panned back, you realized the bridge was always there. It was just hidden from view because it was camouflaged by the background. We all have that bridge for us in our own individual way. But we have to take the step. We have to trust. We have to believe that these individual life forces that we can't see, these angels all around us, are guiding us, are giving us the nuances to allow us to bring forth what it is within us, to develop it, to discover it. Just like Mary, we are all birthing something this Christmas season. We don't know what it is. Is it scary? Yeah. We'll do it anyway. When you were a toddler and you were trying to walk, it was scary trying to get up and might make those legs move like they were supposed to move. And you fell down on your butt a few times. Maybe on your head, who knows? But we had that impulse within us, that life force telling us internally, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And that's where we're at as a grown adult. We have those nudges and those promptings and those, oh my gosh, really? You really want me to do this? And when we surrender, when we trust, when we allow, this infinite force that we are, it's not separate from us, will guide us, will lead us, will bring us through whatever it is. Remember, in the Christmas story, when you read that Christmas story, how many times does it say, it came to pass? It came to pass. That's what we're to remember here, that this season of birth, giving birth to the Christ consciousness, is one that's new every year. I say, oh yeah, I've done Christmas. I've done Christmas. Not like you've done it this year, guys. It's new for you this year. At a deeper level, feel this oneness that we are. And like Mary, say yes and trust. And so it is. Namaste.